Hi, I have a special guest here today, Ferrari Rose. Welcome to our session today. So this video, we're going to be talking about raw food. Now, raw food is a topic that everyone's talking about, and Ferrari Rose is a pet care specialist for dogs and cats, nutrition, right?
Yes.
So welcome.
Thank you.
And who do you have with you hiding underneath your...
I have my girl Daisy. She's kind of sleepy right now, but she is called a toy rat terrier. So she is a mix of Jack Russell and Italian Greyhound. She's always with me, and she's a good guest to have with me as well today, as she is on a full raw diet.
Oh, wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. So let's talk about this raw diet.
Absolutely. So with raw, it's been in the market for years now, but it is coming up more and more in conversation as people are wondering, how do I better my dog's nutrition? How can I prevent health problems or deal with existing health problems or specific dietary issues such as allergies or yeast, for example.
Okay. Well, I'm really interested about this topic because as a breeder, a lot of my clients ask me about it, and you know, I can provide them a little bit of information, but I'm curious. I didn't think it was around that long because it seems like there's so much talk about it now, whereas before it was something that no one ever talked about. So, you know, I think it's good that we do spend a little bit of time and talk about it. So that's fascinating. So what are some of the benefits of someone choosing raw food for their pets?
Well, to start off, it's going back to species-specific diet. So when we're talking about nutrition, what we have to ask ourselves is what species are we dealing with and what is the proper nutrition for them and why. So starting with dogs, they are carnivores. They can have a lower amount of vegetables and fruits in their diet,
Okay.
but it has to be a high concentrate of meat. So looking back into their history, dogs were scavengers. So they would find what they could in season when they could get it, and they would consume the internals of the animal that they were eating, including stomach lining, so pre-digested fruits, veggies, that sort of thing.
Right.
They were consuming it from their prey. So going back to why would raw make sense, we need to look at also what is the dog consisted of. Their GI tract, for example,
Okay.
is much smaller than humans. And also their jaws, they are designed to go up and down. Ours are designed up and down, but also side to side.
Yeah. These are all things that we don't think about, you know, when we're looking at our pets, whether it be a cat or a dog. Yes, we're not looking at all that. We're just looking at, oh, they're so cute and fluffy and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's also taking into account that we're stepping away from processed dog food and looking into a more holistic way of them gaining their nutrition.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really interesting. The other question that I get asked a lot is, can a puppy be on a raw food diet?
Yes. When puppies can start to eat raw is actually after weaning. So it's ideal if you have a puppy at 8 weeks to start a raw food diet with them. That is the same with cats as well.
Oh, interesting. I always thought it would be later on, for I don't know what reason, but for my own thought process.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's very interesting.
Yeah.
What are some of the concerns as a pet care specialist do you encounter when you interact with people and their concerns about the raw?
The biggest question that I get is this going to make my dog sick?
Okay.
One of the most thought about reasons for that question is bacteria. So there have been a lot of recalls in the past with dog food, retaining to salmonella, other bacterias and pathogens that have made people's dogs very extremely sick.
Okay.
So having that into consideration, we look into how raw is manufactured. So in the manufacturing process, raw is actually under a proper temperature, and consistently everything is sterile. So keeping it to temperature, testing and sterilizing everything, it actually will not have any bacteria on it when you receive it. The only way you could have bacteria and pathogens grow is if you take it out, leave it in the sun, and leave it to grow bacteria. You are actually more likely to contract a bacteria from handling kibble than you are from handling raw meat at a dog food store. So that's not taking into account our raw meat, which does have bacteria on it because it's meant to be cooked.
Exactly. Okay. That's fair enough. So if I was to open up, because I've purchased raw for my pets as well, and some of the concerns that some of my clients have talked about is, how they have they're sealed in that plastic wrap, so you have two patties usually. That's the way I purchase it. So I don't know if they come in different sizes, but they come in that package, and then you cut it. And so they're afraid that when they actually open it and it exposed, again, that salmonella you were talking about, touching it with my hands, am I going to get sick myself? So what would you say to that?
I would say that when you're handling any sort of raw meat, handle it with care. So make sure that you're cleaning your counter, you're washing your hands, you're having those good safe practices that you would have when you handle any of your raw meat. Also, it is very much the same with if you're handling any sort of dry kibble, wash your hands.
Really? That's so interesting to me right now.
Wash your hands.
Not that I don't wash my hands, but I would never associate that kind of thing with kibbles, because I guess because it is dry. So in my mind, when you're talking about it, like all these questions were flaring in my mind, because of course I touch kibbles too, and I never really thought about it, but that's wonderful. Well, I think we've done a really wonderful job. We did touch a little bit on the raw food, and I think this is a topic that I would love to invite you to come again and share your expertise with the nutrition with pets, with cats and dogs, and we can go maybe on a different topic into a little bit more depth, and discuss it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I think that's wonderful. Well, thank you again for joining us, and thank you for your little, what did you say, Daisy was her name?
Yes, Daisy.
She was hiding under there. And please follow us on Facebook, subscribe on our YouTube, follow us on Instagram as well, and we have a Facebook page and also our website with all kinds of information, updates. So we'll talk to you again. Bye.